Hey guys, and welcome to the Sydney vlog. I'm actually filming this on my final night in Sydney, so I'm technically Gaia from the future, but the reason for this is because, as you can probably hear in my voice right now, this vlog kind of takes a bit of a drastic turn for the worse, and I wanted to give you some context on that. Basically, what Dan and I thought was originally jet lag ended up becoming flu halfway through our week here in Sydney, which meant we had to spend 3 days recovering. We're not entirely sure how we managed to get flu. We don't know whether it's the constant aircon that we had on the 14-hour plane that was just being blasted at us, or whether we've caught it from someone, or whether it's just us just being like super run down from jet lag. But yeah, wasn't exactly ideal. Despite this little disaster happening, we do still manage to see quite a bit of Sydney, so make sure to watch to the end of the vlog so you can see all of that. But yeah, just wanted to jump in at the start of this video first to give you some context.
The chef that did the whole is an Australian guy.
I mean, look at that. Even though I don't know if you can even see that, but wow.
Pretty spectacular.
Just a standard Saturday afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Strolling in Manly.
Yeah, this is totally normal.
Yeah, this is the life. Oh my god, no!
See all that there? It's all being renovated along there. This is Coogee Bay here. They've got restaurants and beautiful stuff happening here as well, which is really fantastic.
I feel like I look like Nigella doing this. We've actually ordered our first international Domino's, or Australian Domino's. They had so many different things on the menu than what we have in the UK, and it smells
So good.
first off, we've gone for a margherita pizza, which kind of looks like half of it is missing, but it's not. I think it's just slid in the box. We decided to get some chicken nuggets to try them. And last, but definitely not least, we decided to treat ourselves, since, you know, it's our first time in Australia, first time ordering something, that we thought to treat ourselves to some churros. This is what Domino's looks like in Australia if you're ever interested. Trying the Domino's chicken nuggets that are not battered. Not too bad. Quite nice. Monday was the first official day of the tour, so we caught the train into the city centre to check into our hostel. We were staying at WakeUp Sydney in a private room. Don't be fooled by the smiles. This day we were both feeling really under the weather and were putting brave faces on. Therefore, I was quite grateful for the private room. For the 6-week tour, we had chosen to do a half and half package, so we get a mix of private rooms and shared dorms. Unfortunately, because of how we felt, we had to miss the tour group welcome meal and spend the afternoon resting in bed. I don't know, I feel like my brain's just not even working because I'm ill. Hey guys, I probably don't look the most glamorous right now, and I probably didn't sound it, but I thought to show you guys the reality of what I'm like right now, as I'm sure there's probably a future version of me that's explained what's happened. It's very easy to just want to show all the highlights, and I think while we're showing the highlights of our trip to Australia, I think I also want to show the lowlights, and this is definitely a low light. Like, before I came on the camera, I just couldn't stop crying my eyes out. I've just been on the phone to my mom, and I think it's those moments that you feel really homesick because you just want to run back to her and have a hug because you're feeling unwell and you can't, and you're stuck in a city that you don't really know, and it doesn't help that both of us are ill as well. This is day 2 of staying in the hostel. I was hoping that there wouldn't be a day 2 since I wasn't feeling as bad yesterday. I just had a sore throat, but what we originally assumed was jet lag, we think now is flu. All of my body just aches. Like, I have really bad like kind of muscle like and joint pain. I'm streaming, my face is flushed, I'm shivering. I just feel really restless, and it's really hard not to get emotional about it because I've spent 5 years planning this holiday, and there's been a lot of sacrifices in terms of putting away money and, you know, having to work 2 part-time jobs, not only to kind of make ends meet, but also to save for this holiday. You know, it's not like this holiday's been gifted to me or anything, and to think we're having to miss out on a few days in Sydney because we're ill, and we're only going to be here for 2 more days, and you're just thinking, oh, there's so much that I want to see. And it's really hard also to watch everyone else on the tour go and do things while we're just stuck in this hostel room. I'm feeling like this. I'm just still sat in my PJs, and you wouldn't believe it because it's Australia, but also a hoodie because I am so cold. Like, we're even considering going and asking for an extra blanket and pillow because I am freezing. I just feel really upset, and I'm praying that I'll be better tomorrow because we've only got Wednesday. Today is Tuesday now, and we've only got Wednesday and a bit of Thursday because on Thursday we've got our first overnight bus, and I definitely want to be ready and better for then. I feel like I'm just sat in our hotel room watching the world go by.
Not ideal, is it? Set me off as well.
I just can't wait for this to be over. Like, this is just not what I imagined. Like I know I've still got 5 weeks, and I'm very grateful. I'm so grateful that this is happening in a private room compared to a bunk. I think I just feel so sad because I've had so much high hopes, and also because I just really want to visit like all of Sydney. Like, I'm not someone who can just stay in a room all day and just, I don't know, I like to keep active. Oh god, I feel like I'm streaming. I'm literally surrounded by tissue right now. And like, I just got the biggest headache. I think these are the moments where like the time zone thing just really isn't great, because as soon as like I'm getting up, my mom's going to bed. I feel like this is the worst thing as well. I hate having flu, and I mean, I never envisioned to have flu in a hot country like Sydney, but here's the first time for everything, I guess. I think what I'm gonna do is go and have a sleep, or try to sleep, and then just like maybe read or something. I mean, there isn't really much else I can do, and we'll hopefully, when like I've had things like Nurofen and, you know, all the things you're supposed to have when you're like this, so hopefully that all kicks in. But yeah, hopefully when I pick this up next, I will be feeling a lot better and we can all laugh about it instead of crying. Okay, update. I'm feeling a little bit better. You can still hear it in my throat. I want to say the fever is on its way out. But then maybe that's just because I'm like stuck to the eyeballs with like Nurofen, ibuprofen and paracetamol. But one thing they say is really good for a sore throat is like obviously warm liquids. So we thought to go get a tea from the nearby McDonald's. I've heard previously that the tea in Australia is not the same as the UK. And one thing that's also really great for you when you've got a sore throat is Manuka honey. So all today and yesterday I've just been like squeezing some on a spoon. I think it's got like antibacterial properties. So I've just got some like squeezy stuff, and I've just actually squeezed it into my McDonald's cup. It was interesting seeing like how different the menu is, and let's just say they have a lot more variety than they do back at home, which I'm super jealous about. Like, I was just fangirling over the like selection of drinks and like desserts they have on offer, and also the fact that they have a 24-piece chicken nugget share box, don't they? Something like that. They have like loads of stuff.
And 40.
40?
They did a 40 share box.
Oh, just another reason why I should move to Australia. Apparently it's supposed to be English breakfast tea. Obviously I've put some Manuka honey in it, so it's going to taste a bit sweeter, but yeah, here goes. I feel like that's not too bad. I can definitely see why they say it's not the same as the UK stuff. It's a bit more watery, but it's not that bad. Then maybe it's because the honey's in it. It just tastes really nice. It's currently 5 p.m. I want to say. We've just spent today resting, and that's pretty much going to be on the agenda for the rest of today. But as you can see, I am a bit more myself, and fingers crossed, like, everything's gone. So we can go and start exploring properly tomorrow. I'm gonna go and drink this. Also, side note, when we were ordering McDonald's, I swear the woman serving us must have thought I was a right psychopath, because who orders tea in 30-degree heat? But let's go.
Wednesday we still weren't feeling 100%, but knew some fresh air would do us some good instead of being holed up in the hostel room. So caught the bus to Coogee to do the famous Coogee to Bondi coastal walk. And let's just say it was very, very windy. You can either walk Coogee to Bondi or the other way around, but we personally really wanted to finish at the iconic Bondi Beach and iceberg pools. It's a 6-kilometre coastline walk featuring stunning views, beaches, parks, cliffs, bays and rock pools along the way, and I really recommend it to anyone visiting Sydney.
Gaia's just making her way towards the sun. She's getting ready to sit on the wall.
I currently have no voice, but enjoying the view.
Thankfully, my fever had gone by this point, but I still had a really sore throat, to the point that every time I spoke, it felt like razor blades. Then the moment we were finally waiting for, Bondi Beach and the famous ice pool swimming pools. We made it. After trekking for 2 hours along the coastline, it was a real treat to see these views, especially considering we were worried we were going to miss out again from being ill. After being in bed for a few days, it finally felt like we were doing what we envisioned for this holiday, which was exploring. To be able to walk on the famous Bondi Beach was amazing, and the water was so blue. We then got an Uber back to our hostel, passing Sydney's Centennial Park, which made my inner Swiftie fangirl a little bit. If you know, you know. Since we were ill, I hadn't had much chance to buy souvenirs, so we decided to venture out to Paddy's Markets for a little bit, since it was only a 5-minute walk from the hostel. Fun fact, you can get so many of the exact same items you see in main souvenir shops here, but for so much cheaper. Thursday morning I ended up having to go to a walk-in doctor's because my throat was feeling swollen and I was struggling to breathe. We were really desperate to rescue the rest of our limited time here in Sydney and had missed out on so much, so after heading to the chemist, we took a tram to Circular Quay. Though we'd seen the Opera House and the bridge on Saturday, this felt like the very first time, as we could just stand there and appreciate them. I remember feeling so happy in this moment because only a few hours prior, when we were searching for that emergency doctor, it felt like all hopes of a day out exploring were lost.
Oh my god! Okay, so I'm hoping my voice isn't too abysmal right now. Just been to the doctor, but we have just made it to the Sydney Opera House. Standing there in person, I can't believe it. And if you've seen the film Anyone But You, you'll probably get the reference when I say we're off to go see if we can find where Glenn Powell stood in the film, right at the end with Sydney Sweeney. That's Dan's Glenn Powell face, by the way, if you're wondering what he just did. My voice feels like absolute razor blade still, kind of dying inside, but it's not killing the vibes. It's like, I want to feel like 25 degrees, it's boiling here and it's just so beautiful. Like, I just can't believe that is my background, like that is behind me right now. Like, before this point, the closest I've been to the Sydney Opera House is Google Images. So the fact that I'm actually stood here, seeing this in person, I can't believe we're here, honestly. famous Glen Powell steps. If you guys are wondering, Dan is a massive Glen Powell fan.
Oh, you're talking about?
I think he may have even overtaken Pedro Pascal.
Well, no.
I just can't believe we're actually on the steps of the Sydney Opera House right now. Like, I still feel like we're in the UK, even like a week after being here. But look at this.
Look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Like,
one thing you should know about my time in Australia, I did kind of become obsessed with bin chickens, to the point that Dan actually bought me bin chicken socks a few weeks later in Cairns. I don't know what it was, but every time I saw one I just got really happy. But after our walk around the gardens, we bought smoothies and caught the tram back to WakeUp to grab our luggage for our first 13-hour overnight coach of the trip. It had definitely been the most unexpected week, but as we sat there killing time before the coach, it was now starting to feel like our adventure was finally beginning, and we were so intrigued and excited for what was to come. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll pick you up next week in Byron Bay.